In today's session, we'll look at checklists and dashboards and see how they can help the accounting team streamline their month-end process by providing transparency, accountability for each step of the process, while also supporting each team member's individual tasks. We'll also show you how to accelerate the process of bank reconciliations with bank transaction feeds, matching rules, and create transaction rules during the reconciliation process. We'll show you how you can leverage allocation options for improved efficiency and accuracy of entries. We'll also show you how we could streamline the process for best practices for categorization, automation options, and machine learning assisted functionality within the journal entry. And also be able to show you how you can leverage hundreds of out-of-the-box reports and simple customization options to support your reconciliation schedules and financial report preparations. So let's jump right into our demo and look at checklists and dashboards. You can find out your checklists and dashboards by scrolling down to your company settings and click on all. Checklists and view the checklist. Checklists contain assignments associated with the larger tasks. So let's view one here. As we can see here, we have one task for bank reconciliation, and we've assigned it to Ryan. He's not yet started this particular assignment. And we can create those assignments, assign them to a particular user within the system, and they'll be able to update the information as they proceed throughout the reconciliation process and throughout the month-end close process. Also, the controller or whomever has access, whoever manages these month-end close, can also see this information on their dashboard. So you'll be able to see your working checklist of all the checklists that are in process, as well as work assignments, who the assignment has been, who the work has been assigned to, and what status is it? Has it been started? Is it pending? Is it in process? And when it actually ended. Reconciling bank accounts can be a time-consuming task. Accelerate the process with bank transaction feeds, matching rules, and create transactions during the reconciliation. So when we're creating our bank accounts, we could also create matching rules and creation rules. What these will allow is when you're importing your bank statement or using the bank feed process, the system will review those records and prepare and do the proper matching. A simple matching rule here states that if the document number contains the document number, if the document number without from the bank field has the document number, or the posting date is within 5 posting days, it will go and match that particular transaction. You can also create a create transaction rule, which in this example, it will create a transaction. It'll look at my posting date greater than a specific date, because you don't want to backdate those, and it's maybe in the description it contains the wording bank fee. And once that is created, what we wanted to do is we want the system to create a journal entry that will debit my bank charges account, and I will post this transaction in draft. Or maybe there's some interest earned. We'll create the same type of transaction, but now we're looking for a different description, and we're actually going to post this into a transaction called bank interest, and we're going to charge it to our interest account. And again, we're going to post this draft, so one more set of eyes could have a look at that entry before it is actually posted. So if we go to cash management, and we're going to reconcile this account here, we'll put in the ending date, we'll put in the matching date, and we could also import that bank file. So go import this file. So this transaction, those transactions will get imported. We can see what the applied rule sets. So for this one here, we've assigned this rule set to this bank account, and so it's going to do the matching. It's going to do our interest generation, and also going to create our bank feeds. So we do actually go in and reconcile, look at this account. Any match transactions, we'll show them all, we'll apply here. We could actually see that, oh, these transactions have been matched automatically because it met that matching criteria, as well as any deposits and credits have also been matched in the system as well. When it gets down to those transactions that are from the banks or bank transactions, so these are the remaining entries that have not been matched in the system as yet. When we look at our journal entries, and again, creating these journal entries, I always recommend to create a specific journal entry for those specific types of transactions, so you're not trying to search through a needle in a haystack in your general journals. So I've created a bank transaction journal. We can have a view of these, and we can see that there's some bank interest charges that have been processed within the system. They are in draft, so now we can actually view them, confirm those transactions. Yep, everything's fine there. And I can, at one point in time, once I've reviewed them, I can just go and post them all at the same time. Once those get posted, they will get flagged to the bank, and they'll be matched up in the bank for you. So, quick and easy way of speeding up that bank reconciliation process. Also, when you are reconciling the bank, you don't necessarily have to reconcile at the end of each month. You could reconcile at any point during the month. So what you can do is when you're going to reconcile, you could always change this statement ending date, adjust the balance for that particular, say it's the end of the week. I put the balance as per your bank records as of that particular date, and reconcile that way. So this way, when it comes down to the end of the month, all you have left is just the last few transactions that happened during that time frame. If you are using the bank feeds process option, we can always go in and connect your bank using the bank cloud system. Oops, let's edit this one here. Sorry. Going through the bank, we can connect your account to the bank, and those transactions would come down. And according to Sage Intacct, they should be coming down every 20 minutes or so. Also at month end, if you are doing allocations, there are two ways of doing allocations to speed up your transaction entries. We do have the allocations at the transaction level, and those are found here under General Ledger Setup Transaction Allocations. Here, what we could actually do is we could set up those allocations to go by a set percentage. So if you wanted to charge the rent off and use this particular rent, this allocation based on these percentages, we could definitely accommodate with this rule within the system without having to do all the entries themselves. So if we do this one here, we could also apply it to multiple entities. If you have multiple entities and you are allocating, you could also allocate that transaction to those multiple entities. In order to do that, when we are doing that transaction, of course, we're going to do this one at the top level. We're going to go in. We're going to add a test transaction in here. We're going to select our main entity. We'll select our departments. Or we're not even going to leave that. We're going to leave that department as it is. We're actually not even going to enter in this information. What we're going to do is we're going to enter in $25,000. Oops. Sorry, we're going to put the account number in. Sorry. Let's call it supplies. If we have one here, let's go supplies. And we're going to say $2,500. And we're going to select that allocation to be multi-entity allocation. So we're going to do this allocation test here, and do on the opposite side. Of course, we need to have some information on the opposite side. Oops, sorry about that. But what the system will do, and we do have a sample here, so let me just go into that sample here. And you can see that that transaction will get allocated into the different entries. So we entered in this rent for $10,000 through the accrued expenses, and the system will go and will create those due tos and due froms, and also allocate it out to each particular entity. So there's that rent allocation. If I open this one up, there's how each entity is being charged off that rent. So it helps you speed up that process. Now this feature is only available at the general ledger level. If you do have the sales tax solutions implemented, that is not available for you in accounts payable or purchasing or order entry, only at the general ledger level. However, if you do transactions, if you don't do your allocations until the end of the year, at the end of the month, or at the end of a different period, we also have the ability to do account allocation definitions. So these called dynamic allocations, which is an add-on subscription. It will look at feature at your source data, and this one here is, say, my benefit expense group, and I'm going to allocate my benefits to based on my salaries to the different departments. So we would set up a dynamic allocation rule in here. So we're looking at this one, and we look at our journals. Of course, this goes and creates a journal in our allocation book. My allocation journal here. Oops, sorry about that. I always press the wrong buttons here sometimes. View my allocation. There's my allocations for my fringe benefits. We can view this transaction. So this is how my fringe benefits were allocated. I can look at my description. I could see what my source is. And how about that? It opens up in Excel. Sorry about that. I'll slide that over. So there's my source, there's my admin department, and there's my total balance of $10,870. And it will go and allocate that. So it is based on, this is the basis of the calculation. We can also see the basis of calculation, how that is done. So that's the basis of the calculation. And then we could also see the actual dynamics, the split, and this is the actual split up between each department based on those salaries within each system, within each entity or each department. When we do go to look at those allocations, yes, they are done dynamically. We'll look at our dashboard. We'll look at our controller dashboard. And we're going to look at our employee benefits allocation right in here. So we can have a look at that and see how that allocation was performed. So here's before our allocation in the admin department, total employee benefits, our salaries, after the allocation, how much is left with admin, and how after the allocation is being processed into each department. As mentioned before, when we're looking at journal entry efficiencies, my recommendation always is never post everything into the general journal, always break them up. So as we can see here, we've got our accounts payable journal, we've got an activation journal, we've got a bank transaction journal. So I'm having all my bank transaction rules going posted into there. If I'm preparing a dividend or paying a dividend, I'll go into my dividend journal, employee expenses, into each little category. It makes it easier to drill down and search for particular transactions if need be. So breaking up based on the type, whether it's payroll, recurring, bank entry, prepaid, so on and so forth within the system as well. Sage Intacct has also provided the ability to, and this is currently not set up on this on this is doing this machine learning, where the system will actually go in and detect transactions that do not meet within a certain pattern. So if you're always posting $500 into one particular account for a particular department, and then one day it shows up as $5,000, the approval will actually get flagged for that particular transaction. Say, hey, this is outside of my outside the norm. Please have a look at it before it's posted further. So that is called GL Outlier Detection System. Is also available and helps speed up that process. Reporting wise, all the reports are all located within one area in the report center, and there are over 100 predetermined, pre-configured reports that are available to you outside of the box in the system. You could definitely create your own, but these are very quick and easy and able to be used at any point in time and to create your financial reports as need be. So it also speeds up that month-end process for you within the system. You can also, if for those who have access to the system, and will be having access to the system, so maybe it is an executive in the let's say it is the CFO, and they don't necessarily go into the system, but they keep on asking for particular reports. Why not put that report on their dashboard? So this also speeds that process up, so that CFO always has access to the information that they need at their fingertips without having to go in and bug the accounting department to create me an Excel spreadsheet for this particular report. So overall, one and all, in summing up, the Sage Intacct allows you to being a SaaS-based application out in the cloud. We could automate a lot of things within the system. We could create your checklists. We could create your checklists. We could perform transaction allocations right at the transaction level. We could create dynamic allocations, so you don't have to break out that source information and break it up by whichever is your calculation source and put it to a target. The system could actually do that for you automatically, and help you close off that whole report. Also with Sage Intacct's continuous consolidation and continuous close, you don't have to really worry about having to close off each fiscal period as it goes. You can keep on going. Your retained earnings or your net assets will always be updated, the latest and greatest within the system. If you do have a lot of inter-entity transactions and for reconciliation, where through the inter-entity capabilities within Sage Intacct and the multi-entity, we can also get you a very quick and easy dashboard that shows you what your trial balances are for each entity and what the inter-entity reconciliation is within the system. So you can definitely reconcile your inter-entity accounts within the system and show them which ones are out of balance in the system. But using the inter-entity transactions, you don't have to worry about being out of balance as long as you have that mapping correct. Your due tos and due froms will always be in balance.